we have Verizon Media CEO, Guru Gowrappan. Guru, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
All right, Guru, I want to talk about the cornerstones of the business for Verizon Media that are really important to you going forward. What are those?
Number one is trusted content. I think when you think about, and we did a lot of discussion here in Davos around that, how much the value and ecosystem around media is moving to trusted content. So I would actually put it there. And then moving down the value chain about closing the loop. When we talk about commerce, how content and commerce connects to that. And then really creating communities that really trust the content and do the transactions.
Guru, what will that future looking over the next decade of that fusion with commerce and media?
Look, one of the things I say when we talk about Verizon Media and other many media assets, when we create content, we're in the business of creating inspiration. What's happened in the past is we create inspiration, but the transactions happen somewhere else. You don't participate in the value chain. I think that's going to change. We have started changing it because we see 60% of our content has commercial intent. You write about travel, you write about Bali, you write about Davos. The next thing in a week or 10 days, you're looking at travel or booking something. We don't participate in that. So I think in the next 10 years, I think everybody's going to become more end-to-end, close the loop, so that people can participate in their economy and actually do the right thing for consumers in terms of user experience.
You know what, I'm also sensing that there's a community aspect involved in this. How important is community to you when it comes to this?
It's massive, right? We talk about society. I think when you think about Verizon, we talk about 4 key stakeholders. We talk about customers, employees, society, and shareholders. Community is a big part of society, what we do, and actually our customers as well. When you think about that, you take finance, you take sports, you got a very deep community base which follow a brand. You take Yahoo Finance, you take Yahoo Sports, there's a deep, but we don't do end-to-end for them, right? So I think what we're trying to do now is our core product, everything you do every day, not just generates revenue and engagement, but also serves the community. So it's very important.
Corporate culture is a big theme at Davos. What have you done to turn the corporate culture around in Verizon Media? I think you talked to a lot of employees internally, and it's a very much a different company.
Look, I think at core, we have to be purpose-driven. I think the economies you take from China, India, US, any big market, employees in today's world are looking to do more than paycheck. It's more about, am I here adding value? Am I having a big impact to the customers and broader economy? We touch 900 million consumers today globally, right? That's a big deal. Not many companies, there are probably 4 companies that fall in that zip code of being able to have that impact. But the bigger thing is you don't start from top, you say from bottom up saying, hey, are you having a big impact? I'm a mission-driven guy, and I think every employee now has become so much about mission and purpose, about creating networks that move the world forward, and also connecting people to their passion. I think that's helped rather than saying, hey, achieve the business goal. Those are the output. If you put the right input in, you see the right output.
You just mentioned that you're mission-driven. What is the North Star for you? What is that mission that you really want to accomplish?
Look, number one, we are already doing great on Yahoo Finance and sports and all of those things. I think the bigger thing is we touch about 900 million consumers today. How can we grow that and have a much bigger impact? I think that's truly having a big societal impact leads a lot of it. We've been on a curve. If you think about 2019 was about stabilization of the business. 2020, I've said, is all about growth for media business, and I think that sets the stage for next 5 and next 10 years. So it's all about growth.
You mentioned sports. Can you give us an update on the sports betting partnership?
Look, betting has been a big bet, pun intended, when what we did in 2019. And the idea was, again, when I talk about closing the loop for customers, they're not just coming in, consuming scores, content, but then going through the value chain saying, hey, now I'm playing fantasy sports. The next thing I want to do is bet on a player, bet on a team, bet on any of the odds that you see. So we launched our partnership with MGM 3 months back. We launched 1 state. There are many more states coming live. It's doing really well for us. And I think this is something, again, come back to that where you keep the consumer in the ecosystem and give them what the value they're looking for, so that they're not leaving for another system.
In 2020, more states.
Yes.
I want to talk a bit about your background because you came over from Alibaba.
Yeah.
What are you learning? What have you learned since becoming a media company CEO?
Look, if you think about China and Alibaba and a lot of those things, a lot of the lessons are it's a platform company. Mm-hmm. If you think about us, we're a platform company. And the biggest secret of platform company is not just you creating a platform, but about how all stakeholders participate in that platform. Your customers, your shareholders, your society, how you make money, all of that coming in. So you have to almost make sure that you're listening. When you're closed and you're not listening outside in, then you're not growing. So I think that is a big secret of companies doing hypergrowth. I think Alibaba has done that really well in China. I think we are doing that. When I start looking at some of our properties growing 30-40% because we've now listened to our customers and really leapfrogging those innovations.
And here at the World Economic Forum, people are learning so many different sessions, so many panels. I mean, so many people just walking the halls. What are you taking away from this year's World Economic Forum?
Look, we had a big session this morning with the Governor's Council around media. We talked a lot about trusted content. And one of the things we're trying to lead the charge in that space. One, if you remember, late last year, we got out of social content or UGC. We sold Tumblr because the idea for us, when you do trusted content, you're not going to do UGC. It's hard to police. It's hard to monitor. We want to create our content or partner with great content creators to put on our platform. That's number one. Part of that, if you think about last week, we launched One Search, which is around private search, right? The whole idea is we're not going to track, take your data, sell your data, target you based on what queries you had. You come in, you do one search, the search is vanished after that, and that's again part of the whole idea around trusted content, creating privacy. So I'm taking away that we as companies and CEOs and leaders have a bigger responsibility for society. The time is now to act. It's not about 5 years out. So we have a lot of things to do this year and beyond.
Well, it's certainly a great thing to hear. Gowrappan, CEO of Verizon Media Group, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.